Okay, so welcome everyone, and thank you very much for joining us today for this webinar on cash for work and financial inclusion. I will just want to give you one rule for this webinar. If you want to ask a question or that I give you the floor, just wave your hand through Zoom or ask your question directly in the chat or the Q&A, and we will give you the floor at the end of the presentation. Here is the agenda of the presentation. First, we will have a quick overview of the youth portfolio of UNCDF, under which the two programs we are talking about today are. And then we will talk about what is cash for work with an explanation and what it is for us under those two programs, which are the Green program in Ghana and the GSF program in the Gambia. And then we will talk about the UNCDF model more precisely with the Gambia program through an MNO and an FSP, and then the Ghana program through a bank and a fintech. And last but not least, we will talk about financial education with Dimagi and Ose. And of course, at the end, you would be able to ask some questions. Let me introduce you quickly the panelists. So we will have Kodun Ndiaye, who will be talking for Dimagi. We will have also Sirando, who is working with Q-Money in the Gambia. Like Momodou Diouf, who is working in the Gambia as head of operation for Reliance. And we have Megan McCormick, who is the CEO of Ose, a fintech in Ghana. And next we have William Danso Abeam, who is head direct banking of EcoBank in the Ghana. So those are the 5 panelists. And we also have Maria Perdomo, who will be doing the explanation for UNCDF. And Maria, it's you the floor.
Thank you very much, Claire, and thank you, everybody. I think you went a little bit ahead in the presentation. Please go, yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. So let me just quickly go through what UNCDF is about. So we have a mission of unlocking public and private finance. And from the private finance side of the house, we are recently transitioned from unlocking private finance through financial inclusion to do so through the development of digital economies. So here in this slide, you have just some of the data that we, or results that we have been able to achieve in the past 5 years or so, which in total gives us 18 million people around the world, in particular in these developed countries, which is the focus of UNCDF, with access to digital financial services. So please go to the next slide. Let's go to Ray. So today, the programs or the experiences that we're gonna be presenting today are part of the youth finance portfolio of UNCDF. So in total, this is a portfolio that is mainly, it's funded with the generosity of the European Union. So I take this opportunity to thank them for all the support throughout the years. And we're present in 5 different countries, in Ghana, Gambia, Guinea, Niger, and Senegal. Here it is important to say that the program is based on a partnership model, right? So whereas UNCDF's financial inclusion team and youth finance portfolio is in charge of the access to finance part from the private perspective, we also have other partners, including the other UNCDF practice area of local development finance, which I will be talking more lately. Other partners in the mix are Enabel in Guinea, in Senegal as well, and in Niger. We also in partnership with AIX in Niger, that's the Italian corporation, for those of you who are not familiar with the acronym, SMV in both Ghana and Niger. So this, I'm not going to repeat what is already in the slide. So let's go to the next slide. So cash for work and why cash for work is important for us. So we're using in most of the programs at the country level of the youth finance portfolio, cash for work as a way to accelerate the asset accumulation process for youth. When we first started to work at UNCDF with youth, we did it through a savings-led approach. And so at the end of the 5-year pilot of youth finance, we asked ourselves, okay, what other things in addition to financial inclusion, or what can we do to accelerate that asset accumulation process? We know that young people can save, but what can we do to make sure that they can save faster? And so cash for work was one of the many answers that we could come up with in the program. Cash for work was one, and then obviously digital financial services was another one. Partnership was another one. So this webinar is about this cash for work and how we've been doing it. So in both countries, like in Ghana and Gambia, which is the experience that we're going to share today, we are starting with a cash for work model. So our colleagues from UNCDF Local Development Finance Practice, in particular the local program, they support local authorities, okay, to conduct investments in the communities where we are. These investments are particular in many ways. One is that they're climate resilient investments. So through those we prepare local authorities to better face the challenges of climate change. Another particularity of these investments that our colleagues do is that they do it through a performance-based agreements with the local authorities. So the better the local authorities perform with these investments at the local level, the more chances they're going to have in the future to get more money for to increase their investments at the local level. And the third particularity, I would say, and indulge me, my colleagues from LDC, from local that are there in the webinar, if I don't explain it well, is that these investments are done, most of them, or some of them are done through a cash for work model. So we take the youth and the women in the community, we involve them through a participatory process with the local authorities, so that those climate resilient investments are actually performed in a cash for work model. Okay, so another way to involve the community or to do this cash for work, these investments, is through local procurement with SMEs. So the combination, so the possibilities are a lot, right? So we're not only, if you want, revigorating local communities through this cash for work and giving opportunities or short-term opportunities to the youth and the women, but we're also invigorating those SMEs in the local communities that can in turn fuel this local development ecosystem, if you want. Now, if we were to stop there, right, it would be just a normal cash for work program, right? But the idea, well, not that normal, because obviously we have all the climate resilient investment part, but the idea was to make sure that these youth and women in the communities could have long-term solutions, right? And since we understand that most of the probably opportunities that these youth and women would be able to seize in the future are through entrepreneurships, we consider that it was very important that to seize the opportunity of the cash for work model, right? To make sure we could bankerize these, the beneficiaries of the project so that they could start establishing a relationship with a financial institution, accumulate savings that they will be able to accumulate thanks to the proceeds that they're getting from the cash for work. And thanks to that relationship, that is twofold, right? It's not only the youth that are establishing the relationship with the financial institution, but also the financial institution that is getting to know better the young people, right? Through that relationship, we want to leverage it later on so that our beneficiaries in the program can access more finance for startup or expand existing businesses. So that's our model of cash for work. And so today, if you want to go to the next slide, please. I'm sharing with you, or I'm not, actually the partners are here to share with you our experience in both the Gambia and Ghana. So please, let me start with our colleagues from Reliance, which is the microfinance institution that we partnered with in the Gambia. So please, could you, and I'm gonna invite here to my colleague Mobodu, okay? From Reliance. Mamadou, how are you today? Please tell us about the model in the Gambia and how you work with Q Money, okay? Please tell us about the customer journey deployed, starting from account opening to accessing other financial services in Reliance. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Maria, for having me. Good afternoon. Wherever you are, warm greetings from the Gambia here, and hoping you are all safe and sound. We're happy to be here. As I was already introduced, Momodu is my name, Head of Operations at Reliance. I'm also looking after the UNCDF project portfolio with Reliance. Reliance is one of the implementing partners of the Cash for Work program in the Gambia, which we've already had an extensive overview by Maria on what it means. So we'll not delve much into that, except we want to repeat. We are implementing this program in partnership with Q Money and supported by the UNCDF. And basically, our area of intervention is to leverage on our leadership as the biggest microfinance institution in the Gambia, which is utilizing a combination of traditional means of delivering financial service to the unbanked and the underbanked, and also the use of digital solutions to enhance our outreach. So what we do in the Cash for Work program is first to participate in the market research to make sure we understand clearly the needs of the beneficiaries in terms of how they can be onboarded in the consummation of financial services, formal financial services. Once we are done with the market research and understand, then we are in a good position to develop suitable products that addresses their needs, their life cycle financial needs, not only looking within the project life cycle, but beyond the project life cycle, extending to their life cycles. Once that is done, the products are developed, then we try to onboard them by opening new accounts for all the beneficiaries. So these are basic savings accounts with very low KYC requirements, owing to the fact that most of the beneficiaries either do not have the minimum account open requirements that prevails in the industry or in the market. So in order to include them, we will have to find a reduced KYC so that we can onboard them. Once the accounts are open, so these accounts, they will use these accounts now to receive the stipend that they receive for participating in the Cash for Work. And then this can come in sometimes weekly, they can be paid sometimes bi-weekly, sometimes monthly. So, but it doesn't matter the frequency, the accounts are available and can be used for them to receive their stipend. And we do not stop in providing them with savings accounts, but we also try to ensure that they are financially literate. So we organize financial literacy workshops, make sure they really understand how to utilize financial service, to the basic minimum. This is key for them because most of them, as it came out during the market research, most of them have heard about certain product, but they can't tell you what it means or how useful it is or what values it can add to their life. So it's just like hearsay. So the financial literacy workshop really gave us the opportunity to make sure they understand the core concept of each of the financial products and services that formal financial institutions can offer. And in our case, it's what a microfinance company like Reliance can do, and what a mobile money company operator like QMoney can do, and how the beneficiaries can utilize them. So once we leverage or build a foundation for them to start a healthy savings program, then they can continue to be oriented and educated and scale up their activities towards now using other forms of financial service such as loans. They can now borrow. So the foundation is build a healthy savings program for them, help them to establish a good savings culture, and leverage on that now to access other forms of financial service such as loans, such as remittances, and other services. So we've been able to do this successfully with the beneficiaries. And basically, then we can also continue. We do not stop at the financial literacy workshops. Throughout the life of the project, we have field workers. And in case of QMoney, so Sira will talk about this more. They have the community ambassadors that regularly go to the field, interact with the beneficiaries, and give them refresher tips on the content of the financial literacy program, and just make sure they are up and in tune with how they can utilize formal financial services. So
thank you very much, Mamadou. Thank you. Now, I wanna ask you a question. You mentioned, for example, at the beginning, the need to modify the know your customer requirements, and I guess at the beginning was one of the major challenges that we had. That it was in fact to make sure that the youth had all the requirements that the Central Bank of the Gambia was asking to open accounts, and so we were able to surpass that challenge thanks to our activities with the central bank. But aside from that, Mamadou, what other challenges has Reliance faced in working with the JSF program, in particular with these cash for work beneficiaries?
Yeah, one of the other key challenge we face is just a country issue, which is the absence of the required infrastructure. And when you talk about infrastructure, we're talking about electricity and internet coverage around the country, particularly in rural areas where we needed to deploy our agency banking services, which requires internet to work. And this is the service we wanted to use so that we can establish agents within the communities of the beneficiaries, so that they don't have to travel outside their communities to go to the nearest bank branch. So this became a huge challenge for us. And in effect, because the country lacks it in general, we had to find a workaround in order to make sure that when the cash for work beneficiaries are due for payment, they are paid on time. So the workaround we did was we established mobile banking teams. In each of the regional branches that we had, we set up a team that we will deploy weekly, bi-weekly to the communities where the beneficiaries are, as and they can effect the payments. So customers can basically access their accounts. They can do more savings, or they can do field withdrawals in the field without the need to travel outside the communities. It costed us more money though, but at least we were able to extend financial services within the communities where the cash for work projects were happening.
Thank you very much, Mamadou, for that answer. So let me now pass the floor to Sira, my wonderful Sira from QMoney. So one of the objectives of the program is to introduce cash for work clients to digital financial services. We know that digital has the power to accelerate that process of financial inclusion. So can you please tell us how Q Money provides mobile money to these clients, and what are those services that they're providing?
Thank you very much, Maria, and all the panelists and attendees. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning from wherever you are. I'm very pleased to be here, and Q Money has been part of the process from the beginning. Like Mamadou said, he's gone through the process of the account opening. So I just want to pick up one thing from what he said before I move on to answer your question, Maria, which is the infrastructure issues that we face in the country. It is very true, especially when it comes to data. There's still some limitations that are still some gaps that need to be completed, and that's a country issue that we face. You mentioned KYC, which also we have to deal with, and that's where really mobile money comes in. I believe in taking it to the next step and getting to the last mile in terms of financial inclusion. I think here our studies have showed that 69% of Gambians are financially excluded, and primarily because of access to finance in terms of physical access. The technology has a lot to do with it. Banks cannot go beyond certain places because of the need that they have. So mobile money coming in to take it to the next level, really, it's a partnership that for me, I've been so excited about this project from the beginning in the model that UNCDF has taken on, because it is a first when it comes to cash for work in this country, and I think in most places. So we are very excited, and we hope that we can really create the perfect model at the end of the day for our project to benefit from. So for us, how we provide it is, Mamadou mentioned the ambassadors, and these are key people. One of the things also that the research, our market research showed, and this was confirmed by our national research, is that a lot of people have heard about mobile money. I think awareness is about 70-something%, over 70%, but usage is at 2%. A lot of people have heard it, but they don't really quite understand what it means, and they don't know how to use it. So what we did was we created this group of people called ambassadors, Q Money ambassadors. Their role is, these are people within the communities that we serve. They are hired by Q Money alongside agents. We have the agents that would actually do the cash in and cash out transactions and other facilities, even the user education process. But the ambassadors are also trained in just like the agents. The only difference is they don't offer services. Their role is a support role. In the beginning, once the beneficiaries are identified, when we go on the ground, we go with them. So their job is to help register all the beneficiaries, specifically for the program. But we also encourage them to also register people within their communities, because this, at the end of the day, the interaction is not just between the beneficiaries, and we are hoping to, roll out and go after the pilot for this to be adopted in the community. So their role is registered, make sure their SIMs are registered, they have SIM cards, the right SIM cards, the SIM cards are registered, and the SIM cards are activated for their mobile money accounts, and also educating the users about the beneficiaries about mobile money, explaining them how it works and so forth. Because they live with them in the communities as well, they are there to offer regular support. So a customer care center could be far away, but an ambassador lives in your community, or maybe in the next community that you can easily access, alongside our agents as well as our regional representatives that are in the regions that we work with. So the ambassadors' role are very key in making this happen from the beginning. Mohammed also mentioned them when it comes to the financial education. They are part of the process. They have access to the mobile app, which for the financial education module, which Code is going to be talking on. And their role is to really, once we do the initial training, their role is continuous training and retraining to really reinforce the challenges that they face when it comes to financial education. A key part in really being successful when it comes to moving people from the informal financial sector to the formal, and in terms of financial education. During the research, we found so many things, people, actually saving, but not considering saving. So those are all things that are very important for us, for them to understand and to adopt the mobile money and adopt the project, get a savings account, make sure they have that, and also get a mobile money account and how to use it. So once the ambassadors things are done, then we move on to the payments. Once the payments are collected, we are sent the information and we dispatch the payments to the mobile money. They all have their mobiles, they've been activated. they will receive an SMS telling them that their payment has been sent. And the next thing they will do is they have agents, they go to the agents. So we made sure to have agents that are closer to them. So far in most of the regions that we have, we added 30 extra agents within those areas to make sure that they stay within the 5-mile radius of agents to be able to cash out their benefits if they want to cash it out. They're also trained by the ambassadors or shown by the ambassadors on how to use the platform, how to use the services on the platform, like by topping up airtime or buying prepaid electricity for areas where there's electricity. So they don't have to cash out, and they are also engaging and also bridging one of the challenges that they have, which is the digital gap, the digital literacy gap. In addition to financial literacy, there's also the digital literacy issue when it comes to digital finance, and which is the way forward and what we want to encourage. So the financial transactions really, next step is really this SMS that they receive when they get their deposits, and they're able to get to the Q Money agent nearest to them, and to cash out or continue. We find people are using it to save. A lot of people are using it to buy airtime. I think about 25 to 30% regularly buy airtime from the benefits that they have. They don't cash out. In the areas where there's electricity, there are not that many, but in those areas we find also beneficiaries are using it, and they're also using it to send money to each other and to other members outside their communities, outside their communities. And they're also using it to save. Some of them are not taking the money out, they're keeping it in their wallets. A percentage of the stipend goes to the Q Money account, and the other percentage goes to their savings account at Real Alliance. So some of them are choosing to keep that money in the Q Money account for greater accessibility. There's a component that is supposed to be part of the process, which we are still working on, which is linking, being able to take it to the next level, being able to link your wallet, your Q Money wallet with your Reliance Bank account to be able to move money and really expand the ecosystem that they can have access to, because they don't really need to use cash in most cases. They can move money. For example, if the money in there's type 15% in their Q Money account runs out and they want to buy airtime, $20 here, they don't have to go to Reliance to withdraw. They would just withdraw from using the platform, the integration that we're working on to have, where they will move money, that $20 from their savings account into their Q Money account, and the platform are able to by the airtime that they need. So in essence, this is the process in summary. I know I'm limited in time. Perhaps I can go into more details when it comes to Q&A. But the key thing for us has been really making sure we guide them, because of the nascent nature of our market in Gambia. 2% usage is quite low, and a lot of people are still very confused about what mobile money is. So our ambassadors on the ground and agents supporting has played a key role in getting them onboarded and getting them continuing to use the services, the platform, to engage with the digital products and to really understand. And we are seeing them also taking it to their communities and like I said, sending it outside their circles and saving. We even have some of them using it to receive payments for some of their products. So in essence, that's it. And like I said, we will wait for Q&A to expand further on that, Maria.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank Sarah for all the support, and she's been a real champion of the JSF program in the Gambia. So thank you, Sarah, for all your support. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you very much.
Now let's go to Ghana. Just some countries next to this next slide. So, and here I am going to please invite our colleagues from, I guess, EcoBank goes first. That's William. And I haven't had the opportunity to meet you in person, but I'm sure and I hope that that will happen soon. So please tell us about the customer journey deployed under the Green Project, starting from the payment services, the savings account to the loan product, okay? Here, an important point to make is the leverage of the network of EcoBank agents, right? As well as your digital products to really reach the last mile. So if you can make emphasis on that, that will be great. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Maria. And Greetings to every one of us here, depending on wherever you are. We hope that you are all safe and sound. EcoBank is excited to be part of this. We are excited to be part of the entire Green Project in Ghana as implementing partners with OZ and others. We look forward to a successful implementation of this project. And let me just talk about the customer journey. It's good. Gambia is already into it. We are just about starting, but then we have this journey that I want to walk everyone through. 4 steps along this journey. This project is very keen to EcoBank as a strong financial partner in Africa. With representation in 33 African countries, it is very keen to our heart. And this is how we want to do this. At the beginning, we are seeking to set up agency banking across all the MMDAs and the districts where we have the participants. And I must make it clear that currently EcoBank in Ghana, we have over 5,000 agency points. And our agency banking business, which we call the bank in your neighborhood, is just to create access to improve proximity to participants having access to financial services. And we are beginning with this to make sure that every participant has an express point or an agency bank that is closer to him or her to facilitate access to banking or financial services. And of course, they do limited services, basic withdrawal, deposits, transfers, remittance, and that is how we want to begin it. And the idea, this is coming from an experience we have picked from the work we've been doing. As head direct banking, I lead the execution of the bank strategy towards the mass market. So this is an experience we've picked in assessing the mass market and servicing the mass market in Ghana. It's key that we establish these express points, and from there we can grow the customers. So right from establishing the agency banking spot or the express points, we move straight into acquisition. And at this level, we are seeking to acquire customers, get them onboarded through our savings account. And we are presenting 2 main accounts for this particular project. The first one is our Express account, an account that is designed specifically to promote financial inclusion. What do I mean by that? This is a medium KYC account. It's a savings account actually, currently earning up to about 4% in Ghana and paying more than your regular savings account would even give you. And it's a hybrid of an account because one leg of it operates just like a mobile money wallet. Another leg of it operates like a full bank account that allows you to do all the things that a bank account would allow you to do. And this account is easy to open in less than 3 minutes. With a valid registered SIM, you are good to have this account open. And that is what we are presenting to a lot of the participants to ensure that they can conveniently, and you don't need a smartphone to get this done. With your basic phone or your feature phone, you should be able to get this done. It's a savings account, like I said. It promotes speed, promotes access, and there is automatic linkage if your number is already on mobile money, and that makes it quite easy. And beyond this, we would also have our regular savings account also available for participants, and we have decided to ensure that all customers or all participants that sign up are getting free debit cards on their account, just to enhance the financial services that they are going to get from the acquisition. And again, let me say that we are going to use the agency banking spots to drive this acquisition. And this is from the experience we've had in the past. When this is done, it gets the entire community involved, not just the participants, and it ensures that awareness and utilization is on the high side. From acquisition, we are moving to providing comprehensive financial services to all the partners and other people that would also sign up for these accounts. And what we are seeking to do here is to ensure that all the participants, number one, are given enough financial education or literacy concerning the products, starting from our savings account, how they should save, how best they could do it. And this is where OZ is coming in strongly to help us drive the education, because they have a wonderful platform that helps participants, and we want to capitalize on that to ensure that financial education is key. So once people get educated about the financial services, we have a plethora of services that we provide with our channels. Today in Ghana, we give you access. One of the topmost form of transfers that are done is transfer from a bank account to a mobile money account. And we provide that service. We can give people access to also send funds from their Express account to other bank accounts. If anybody buys anything from you, even out of Ghana, in any of the 33 African countries where we are, you can actually receive payment from them. In addition to the payments platform, we also would make available a newly and an innovative way of receiving funds for sale of goods and services, the QR, the merchant QR, which we happen to be the first to introduce in Ghana. And recently, the government of Ghana also introduced a universal QR code in Ghana to also facilitate this. Every participant who is going to be an entrepreneur would also be given a merchant QR to facilitate the receipt of payments. Beyond this, we are moving to the last phase of the journey where based on the financial transaction, based on their savings pattern, based on the education they have received, participants would also have access to lending. Currently, we have a lending product, a micro lending product. Is a digital lending product that is doing so well. It's just been on the market for about 14 to 15 months now. And we partnered an MNO and a fintech to deliver it in Ghana. And it is also going to be made available to participants such that they can have access to micro credits up to about $300 anytime you need it for a 30-day period. And we believe that will be good. So this will be the journey from the agency banking to the acquisition point to providing financial education, which would lead to access to financial services. Then we would open participants up to the lending products that we have to ensure that everybody gets what they need for this particular project. And we would utilize all the available touch points that we have in Ghana and in EcoBank, from our express point to our mobile app. And my colleague from Gambia made mention of something which is quite critical. The fact that in some of the rural areas, we do not have enough internet, strong internet connection, and therefore it affects the delivery of services. And this is one thing that we already have a USSD service that would help us reach all these participants in these areas. So this is the customer journey for those that would participate in the Ghana project, and we are looking forward to it with so much excitement. Thank you very much, Maria.
Indeed. Thank you, William. We're also very much excited at UNCDF about this partnership with EcoBank. So now let me pass the floor to my colleagues from Dimagi, Kodu. Let's talk about financial education. So Dimagi has been an integral player and partner of this in the entire portfolio as you have developed the application for financial education. Please tell us about your platform and how it has been integrated in the various countries. How can ComCare inform UNCDF and partners of the journey participants and taking under the Cash for Work program?
Hello, Maria, and hello to everyone. So to speak quickly about our involvement on the project, Dimagi was in charge of developing financial education tool, which was used on the different countries where the project was deployed. Basically, we were using our product ComCare, which is a data collection tool, which works offline, but also have a web platform. So basically, the methodology we used to develop this financial education tool was a very participative and inclusive one with the different partners within the different countries of the project. So basically we had to build a first prototype of the application, which was afterward adapted to the context of each countries and the contents of each partner. How the tool we developed was used in the field. Basically, we had to first understand the needs of each partners and also the people on the ground who was using the tool. Basically, it was the financial service providers agents or the mobile money providers agents. We also had to do some focus groups to understand actually the profile of those agents and also the profile of the beneficiaries to be able to come up with the tool which responded to the different needs in terms of financial education. The application we developed had multimedia contents and were used by the different agents to do group financial education trainings and also individual financial education for the beneficiaries. So basically, the apps were used offline so that like there were no connectivity issues, and once the data was collected in the field and that the agent has connectivity, the data can be sent to our server, which were accessible to UNCDF and their partners. So how the app works, the app allows them to register the beneficiaries, to also do the attendance list for the trainings, and therefore for the people who were able to see the data on the server, we are able to see all the people registered and also see to which training session they participated and have like a participation level for each beneficiary. And also to discuss about like the access to the application to the beneficiaries. We were also able to test in Guinea due to the COVID situation and that some of the restrictions for group trainings. We had adapted the application for the beneficiaries, and they were able to also do a self-pass training followed by some quizzes which will allow UNCDF and their partner to see if they passed the courses they were following. On the Cash for Work side, we also started the development of a prototype application with the Gambia, and we plan on working also with Ghana for that tool. Basically, that tool will be used to help the supervisors in the different projects to be able to monitor the beneficiaries, and to the committee to be able to actually, through those attendance lists, to be able to make payment orders, which will be used by the financial service provider or the mobile money providers to trigger the payment for the beneficiaries.
Thank you so much, Kodo, for that. Now, any main challenges that you would like to quickly share with the audience?
Okay, so some of the challenges is that like working with multiple stakeholders can be quite challenging, but I think that we have good and less good situation where like we went from a template where like for most of the partners the workflows was the same, so that we can go from that template, but we needed to make sure that like afterward for the data analysis and the data visualization, that UNCDF and their partner to be able to have something that is harmonized. So sometimes going from a French-speaking country to an English-speaking country, it can be very challenging, like to make sure that like you have some indicators which will be understood by like all the partners. But in the good side, sometimes adapting the template from one country to another will allow us to have like multiple features that could have been shared cross-country.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Kodo. And just so that participants in the webinar know, the chart that you have on your right it's part of, it's basically produced by the application, which actually is helping us to monitor not only the quantity of the education being delivered, but also the quality. And that's very powerful when it comes to, to the integration of non-financial services. So thank you. Let's go to the next and last partner, which is OZE, a very new partner of UNCDF. Very exciting to have you on the pool. And I'd like to invite Megan McCormick to join us. And so tell us, Megan, a little bit about OZE, okay? Your model, okay, and what is it that OZE? What is the value that a fintech can bring to the project? So just so you, I can remind you, OZE is our partner with EcoBank for the Green Project in Ghana. So please, Megan, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I don't know if you have to advance the slide, but when I saw the PowerPoint before, there were 3 phones, and now I just see 1. So I wonder if there's animation, hours and hours to comb through them and make those notebooks with a mobile app. And we understand that there was an existing technology specifically for the needs of the small businesses we're targeting, but we think that even more so, it's a behavior change issue. And so OZE leverages the principles of game design to help users actually form habits around recording their sales expenses and other business transactions in the OZE app. So OZE works on Android, iOS, and via any web browser. And in as little as 3 clicks, even if the person is offline, they can record any sale or expense. They can also send digital receipts and invoices directly to their customers, which is really important, especially for the SMEs who during COVID have started selling their products over WhatsApp and other social media platforms, because being able to send a receipt like the one pictured on the screen builds a lot of trust, which is oftentimes hard to find between buyers and sellers when everything is happening over the internet or over the phone. They can mark any transaction as unpaid or partially paid and set a payment date. If it's an unpaid expense, they'll get reminders internally themselves that they have, this payment coming up due, and they can look at their current cash balance and see if that's going to pose a problem or not. And then if it's an unpaid or partially paid sale, they do get the reminder that the payment's coming up due, but they can also push a reminder to their customer with their EcoBank Pay data or their mobile money data to make collections really seamless. And we've found that this is important, especially for young women who don't necessarily have the clout or social capital in their communities to push back when somebody claims that they've already made payment for a product and they haven't. We also show them back all of their data on a very simple dashboard so they can to support all of this activity. We provide daily business education. You think of it as a mini MBA. We cover all of the major business topics, and then also topics like leadership and personal development, because as an entrepreneur, you are a leader and you need to be able to effectively run your business. And then they have access to an on-demand business coach via the phone or WhatsApp if they need any further clarification or support. Something in 2019, we found that 97% of small businesses in Ghana that used OZE for at least 3 quarters were growing, profitable, or both. And so we found that there's really good correlation between people using OZE and having improved business performance, especially considering that most of the small businesses that we serve are youth-led, and this is their first entrepreneurial experience. Something that we have gotten into in 2020 is to use our data analytical capabilities, as well as the performance data input by the user into the app, the cash data from any integrations with mobile money providers or bank accounts, and the behavioral data of how the small business owner interacts with the app, such as, you know, are they batching transaction entry or doing it in real time? Are they sending receipts? Are they reading the business tips? To get a more accurate assessment of how much a small business owner can borrow and at what level of risk. And so we're partnering with financial institutions and other fintechs to make no collateral, low interest rate loans available to customers. And we look forward to supporting EcoBank. And they already have everything with the quick money loans, but with the SME loans for the beneficiaries of this project. Just to tie it into what we're doing with Cash for Work, is that for many of these small business owners, you know, the cash that they're getting, or sorry, individuals, the cash that they're getting from their Cash for Work is maybe a really good opportunity for supplementary income to other income generating activities, and might increase their cash balance and their savings for the first time in their life. And so with OZE, they can understand, you know, which of their income generating activities are the most profitable, which ones are actually growing and generating wealth. And then we can leverage the savings from the Cash for Work to get them a loan to expand their income generating activity that they're now currently doing into something that could maybe be their sustainable full-time job after the Cash for Work program ends. So that's how we're really excited to see if we can increase, you know, the long-term sustainability and the impact of the Cash for Work program, focusing specifically on those who want to invest those savings in small business growth, or the SMEs in the surrounding communities, those who are involved in the Cash for Work program tangentially, or even just living in the community who are running businesses, help them to actually grow that business.
Megan, thank you. Thank you so much for a very interesting presentation. And I just wanted maybe to highlight the importance and how strategic these partnerships are. The partnership between OZE and EcoBank, the partnership between Reliance and Q-Money, and Dimagi. I think, I mean, this is a big lessons learned for, I hope, all of us. And I mean, we know that M-Pesa in Kenya is the result of a big partnership, and who was able to basically change the entire financial landscape of a country. And I'm sure these types of partnerships, so visionary between fintechs, commercial banks, MFIs, telcos, have a big potential as well to little by little change the landscape in your country. So it's just very refreshing to see this happening, and wonderful to count with the know-how of a fintech like OZE for the program. So thank you. So so with no further ado, okay, I will then pass the floor to the audience who have been waiting for us to just be silent, okay, so that you can ask all the questions that you want to our panelists today. So I don't know how you want to do it. Maybe Claire, I'll pass you the floor so that you can moderate.
Okay, thank you very much, Maria, and thank you very much to all our panelists for their brilliant presentation. So as I can see in the Q&A, we have a question from Dorian Pratt-Marty. Dorian, I will give you the floor so that you can ask your question, okay? So Dorian, now you can speak if you unmute yourself.
Hello, yes, thank you very much. Sorry, it took a bit of time. Yes, so my question was around the Express account from EcoBank. Since the KYC requirements are very limited, as you mentioned, William, how did you make sure that there wasn't any issue with AML or like any other risks regarding these accounts? Thank you very much.
Okay, Dorian, thank you so much for your question. Yes, anti-money laundering is quite critical to each and every one of us within the financial services. And yes, I made mention that the Express account is created to promote financial inclusion, and which means that we ensure that we don't put too much requirements to it. But what is a medium KYC account? And according to the regulations in Ghana, we take the ID of the account owner, which is quite critical in helping us identify who is behind the account. What we are seeking to do beyond that is also to link that account to the mobile wallet of the holder. So that is also done. So there's a second step where we are linking the account to another account which you are already operating, which helps us to identify the customer much better. Critically, to help us address AML is the issue of limits. So there's a daily transactional limit on the account. There is a balance limit as to how much the account can hold. There is a monthly transactional limit on the account. And beyond the limits that has been set on the account, also for remittance, we have a suspicious transaction alert on the account for remittance as well. So with all this information, it helps us monitor the activity on these accounts and ensure that they are not used for AML purposes. And that also helps us keep the risk to a very low level when it comes to the Express accounts. Thank you, Dorian.
Thank you very much, very clear.
Thank you very much, William. Dorian, if I can just ask you to precise from what organization you are, please.
Yes, I am from Advanced Ghana Savings and Loans.
Okay, thank you very much. So now I will give the floor to Abdul. So please, if you can just say your organization first, and you can ask your question. Thanks.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Abdul. I work with Afro Communications Ghana Limited. It's an agency under Airtel Tigo Ghana Limited. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, thank you very much, Abdul, for this. Now you can ask your question.
Yeah, I want to find out from Oze if entrepreneurs in Ghana are using the services for free, or maybe they're supposed to pay for the services being rendered by Oze.
Yes, thank you for that question. OZA uses a freemium business model. So a sole proprietor who's not doing too much business can use the OZA platform for free on their mobile device. We have paid platforms, which paid subscriptions, OZA Silver, Gold, and Platinum, which go from 10 CD to 100 CD per month, depending on which level they're on. For those out, that's around $2 to around $10 per month. This allows them to do functions like send more receipts or unlimited receipts to their customers, work with their teammates under the same OZA account with different permissions, and use OZA not just on their phones and their laptops, among many other things. So I'm happy I can provide my email or contact information, and I can send you the much more detailed packages so I don't go over them with everybody. But the basic idea is,
I would be grateful.
Great, is that entrepreneurs can start to see the benefits in their business for free before they ever need to start paying for the service.
All right, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. So I would be happy to get further details.
Great.
Okay, thank you, Megan, and thank you, Abdul, for this question. I just want to add that under the Green Program with the UNCDF, we will be choosing the best approach according to the needs of the targeted groups. So for now, it is not decided yet. Then we have two questions from Oluwayet and Denis Chiswaka that are about UNCDF and these initiatives. The questions are to know if the initiatives are available in some other countries, since Oluwayet is from Nigeria, And the question is quite the same. So can UNCDF support a fintech startup with the same kind of products if it is in a non-member country? So Maria, if you can answer.
Thank you. Thank you for those two questions. So yes, we are in several countries with this particular model in the youth finance portfolio. We are currently present in Ghana, Gambia, Senegal, Guinea, and Niger. However, I mean, UNCDF has a specific focus on least developed countries, and as such, we're present in other countries in the region. Unfortunately, Nigeria is not one of them. We will also launch a regional innovation challenge very soon, where we, and this maybe comes to the response to the second question, do we support fintechs and startups? Yes, we do. Yes, absolutely. And we will recently launch an innovation challenge, a regional innovation challenge. And we'll be happy to follow up with you on an email in case you have not heard about it, so that we can send you more information if your fintech is willing to apply or interested to apply. By all means, these innovation challenges are open to all. The winners are always chosen through a very transparent and competitive process. So yeah, open to everyone. Any other question? Or maybe my colleague Sabine would like to add something that I might have forgotten. Sabine, for those of you who don't know her, is the regional manager for UNCDF Digital Hub in West and Central Africa. No? If you do, Sabine, just raise your hand. Yes, Sabine would like to add something. So Claire, please do pass the floor to Sabine.
Yes, it's done. I think now, Sabine, you can speak.
Hello, just thank you very much, Maria. And just wanted to add to what you were saying by really recommending that anybody interested in the call for proposal and challenges that we do to follow us on the website, as well as on LinkedIn and Twitter. We will be communicating heavily about this innovation challenge that will be launched hopefully in the next 4 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabine. So we had a question from Emebetita, but I can see in the Q&A part that it was already answered by Sira. So if anyone wants to ask a question, if you can please show it by raising your hand or writing in the Q&A, and then you can have the floor. So maybe we can just talk about Mebetita question, since the second part is very interesting. Is asking what is the potential and appetite for adding any other products, like, for example, low-cost health insurance. So Maria, maybe you can ask this question.
Sorry, to the panelists, you mean?
No, it was an open question on the potential to add some other products like low-cost health insurance. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that there, well, the model, as I said, is yeah, like, so get the clients from, or beneficiaries from Cash for Work, have them bankerized through the process, right? So help them to get financially included. So the first, if you want, stepping stone in that process is to get them bankerized. The next step will be for them to access loans, right? So that they can maybe start up their business, but that's a big assumption, right? What if the next step that, or this next product that they want is not a loan because they're not interested in entrepreneurship, but in fact is insurance. And that's why, for example, we're partnering with big players like Reliance or Ecobank that could also be in the position of offering those other types of products to the clients. In a way, if you want, the objective should be to accompany the customer in the journey, right? And make sure that we also build, if you want, their financial health, so that in the future, yeah, that they could use other products and services to support that goal. So yes, absolutely. Yeah. Other question?
Thank you very much, Maria. I can see that Sarah has raised her hand. So Sarah, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Claire. I think when I mentioned in the answer that one of the beauties really of mobile money is that once the beneficiaries are onboarded, and there's been no restrictions, and I think that's another great thing about this project, there's no restrictions when it comes to the mobile money that they account they have. We offer them what our regular market product. So this means that any type of new product that comes onto the platform, it's automatically available to them. One of the products that we are in discussion and is part of the second phase of the project discussion that actually started is micro lending, for example. So when we do develop this product and add it onto the platform, it will be automatically accessible to all of them. And we know all these other products that are out there on mobile money, you know, low-cost insurance, even you know, bonds, buying bonds online using your mobile money. So automatically the product becomes available to them. It's just a matter of eligibility. So we really try to educate them about keeping their accounts active, because some of these might require, you know, history, and then taking into the next level where these transactions, their transaction could be used as a credit rating for them that could be accessible not only for mobile micro lending, but in partnership with other products that other banks could offer as a, you know, so they can use the data, existing data, as credit, a basis for being granted credit at other financial providers. So really, there's no limit to how much they can, what kind of products they can be exposed to when it comes to the mobile money platform. So I need to add that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thira, for answering this question too. So if anyone else wants to ask a question or maybe to add anything to the discussion, please just raise your hand and I will give you the floor. Thank you, Umar. So now I think you can speak. Umar, you have to unmute yourself so that we can hear you, please.
Okay, thank you, Claire. Hi, everyone. I would like to congratulate the panelists. It was very interesting what they are proposing today. I asked a question on the chat, and it has already answered by Sira. It was a question. So as we know that the people targeted for the cash flow program are vulnerable and often need cash, did they have any difficulties getting beneficiaries to accept the payment model? So as a part for in Q&A, in the other part in the bank account. It was my first question. The second question is, we know also that the risk, the most associated risk with the type of modality, the cash work, is the risk of exclusion. Have you faced any risk of exclusion in the program in Gambia? So the question is for Claire, for Sira and Mamadou. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go first, and I will start with the second question, which talks about the risk of exclusion. From our observation, one of the biggest ways someone could have been excluded from this program is by not meeting the minimum KYC requirements to either open a bank account or to operate a mobile money wallet. And we dealt with that by creating a window of flexibility. And for us at Reliance, what we did was, we knew that the cost of obtaining a national ID card, which is a requirement to open an account, was very high. It cost about $450, and most of the beneficiaries could not afford these initially. And what we did was, our system allowed us to obtain some basic information from them through a one-on-one interview, and we used that to open an account for them, a temporal account, and give them a 90 days window for them to earn their first, second, third, possibly third stipend, from which they can now afford to obtain an ID card and then bring us to update their KYC requirements. So that dealt with the issue of excluding people who could not meet the minimum requirements. On the first question, even though Sira has already answered, it wasn't really difficult for them to accept that 85% of their stipend goes into their bank accounts and 15% to their mobile money. But these were things we included or discussed with them thoroughly during their orientation meetings. There were a series of orientation sessions we had both with the World Development Committees and the beneficiaries prior to the start of the project, clarifying and explaining in detail how the model and how it is going to work, how they are going to participate, how they are going to access their accounts, the services they can benefit, and all of that. So, those thorough engagements really dealt with all of this, and it was easy for them to accept. Maybe Sira wants to add more. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mamadou. Thank you, Umar. That's really a very, very important question. Like I said in my answer, the way the project was put together it wasn't optional, because this is how the project was designed to really test this combination going forward and see how it would go. And I think one of the main things I think is that a lot of them really appreciate the digital world and are keen to get into it. I remember one of the discussions that we had with some of the groups during our market research, this woman, when we asked her if they had concerns about being on social media. We asked that question. One of them mentioned that, oh, social media is a terrible thing. It can break your marriage because people can spread lies about you. So her response was that, this is the reality. It's true, but this is technology. We have to really adapt. We have to embrace it, and I'm ready to do that. And that's some of the attitudes that we found on the ground for people, from people, from the beneficiaries and the participants in this project, which is very, very encouraging. Now, the other thing that made it easier was Q-Money went for 15% and they didn't try to get more for that reason, to make it really more acceptable. Because if we're asking them to put more, it's new, they don't understand, and they're thinking a lot more of their money being tied up, it could be a challenge. So one of the reasons why we opted to have 15%, to make it a lower percentage, is to really not have an issue when it comes to acceptance and usage. With this, they can be testing out the service, from buying airtime, buying little things that they need, and for the bulk of the money they can keep in their savings. So that's one of the things about the 15%. And like Mamadou said, this was thoroughly explained to them during the sessions that we have, sensitizing sessions, and they had to accept it before moving on. In terms of exclusion, yes, for us on our part, there are some people that are on the beneficiaries that are not able to be paid on mobile money because of the issue of KYC. They don't have the required ID. Unfortunately for the mobile money product, we ride on the SIM card, which is a different regulator. The regulator has specific requirements when it comes to registering for a SIM card. So we could not, that's legislation that we could not just go in and change overnight. The legislation requires that you must have specific types of ID before you get a SIM card. And without a SIM card, obviously you can't get a mobile money account. So we have very few. I don't think in any ward that we are, there are more than 5 or so that, as far as I'm aware, that are excluded from the mobile money account because of that. And what happens in those cases is that 100% of their payments go to their bank account. And once they have the SIM card, their ID card, they can now be onboarded onto the mobile money account. Good thing coming in is that with a national financial inclusion project that is going on with the central bank, one of the projects that both Reliance and Q-Money are participants and members of those committees of Financial Innovation Committee is working on a light KYC proposal. We've actually almost finalized our proposal. COVID-19, there was first mention of COVID so far in the program. COVID-19 hit, and I think it delayed that a little bit, but there is a proposal for a light KYC that should allow them to be able to do this. So the project has a couple of more years to go. So we're hopeful that by the time we get to that very soon, they will be able to have access to the light KYC. Then that will eliminate basically the exclusion. It is really only a KYC as long as the participants sign up for the cash for work program. They are eligible to get the savings account right now. And if they're not eligible for the mobile money, we're hoping that soon the KYC Lite project will be approved by the central bank and in place for everybody to be included 100%. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Mamadou and Sira, for answering this question. And thank you for the question itself. So we have a new question. So Emebet, I give you the floor if you can ask it, and don't forget to tell us where you come from. Thanks. Emebet Tita, I give you the floor if you want to ask your question, please. Okay, so I will ask the question for you, which is very interesting. It is about the products deployed. Were there any significant gender disparities in access and adoption, and how was this addressed? So Sira, Mamadou, if you want to answer.
All right, gender disparity. In our case, we saw a lot more females, women registering for the project than male. I was just trying to pull the stats to give you specific numbers, but the project actually targeted female and youth, and that was achieved to a large extent because the participants were more female and youth than male.
Okay, may I come in?
Yes, sure.
Sure, Sira, go ahead.
Yes, so for the project, like Mamadou said, it's the target is women and youth, and you know the gender is determined by at the time of onboarding during the cash for work. So really, we take on whoever has been onboarded for the cash for work by the communities themselves, and I think there has been some work. They've been working with them to make sure that the gender balance is there, so that was not an issue. On our part, when it comes to additional product usage, adoption from the platform, like buying airtime and buying, transferring money and buying, using it to get prepaid electricity, we're seeing more men taking that on than the women, and even additional deposits into their account. We're seeing more men taking it on, but the balance is almost close to 50-50 really. I think, if I remember correctly, our last report, it was about 40% of the female were buying, using the platform to access additional products and services, as opposed to, you know, the male. But yes, that's where it makes a difference. But on the ground, we don't have any influence when it comes to onboarding with the registration. We are just given the beneficiaries, and we register them as they come. But again, there's a gender specialist in the group that is making sure, that is supporting the communities in making sure that there's adequate gender balance to make sure that project works. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Mamadou and Sira, for answering this question. And indeed, it is important to say that the GSF program in the Gambia is for youth and women. So of course, we are including them in the financial system, which is the point of it. So if there are no other questions, I think we are on time, since we had scheduled 1 hour and a half. So Maria, do you want to say the last word?
Yeah, sorry, I was not able to unmute myself. Thank you so much. No, thank you, Claire, for passing me the floor. I just wanted to thank to all the participants. In total, I guess we had almost 60 people in and out throughout the webinar. So thank you very much. Thank you to all the panelists for the time devoted to prepare this webinar and also to participate in this webinar. Thank you so much for your partnership. Your success is our success, and is the success of all the people that are benefiting from the programs that we're doing at UNCDF. So thank you very much. Just thank you once again to the generosity of the European Union to make this happen. And thank you to all the colleagues that were involved in organizing this webinar today, in particular to you, Claire. Thank you. Atta is not here, but also I wanted to thank her, even if she cannot be with us today. And with not further ado, just to all the participants, please stay in touch. We will be sharing more knowledge about our programs. Do not forget the Innovation Challenge, the regional one that will be launched soon, and to which you can all be able to send your applications. So we'll look forward to seeing them, to be connected, and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria. And yes, we will be sharing also the audio of this webinar. And thank you very much for all for attending today. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Claire. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having us.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.